Reports are circulating in local and international media. The Philippines is secretly building what could become its largest and most advanced naval base in decades, right in Subic Bay. This development has sparked speculation, debate, and even concern among defense analysts worldwide. Why Subic? Why now? And why is so much of this project happening behind closed doors? Subic Bay was once the crown jewel of U.S. military power in Asia. After the Americans left in 1992, many believed its military role had ended forever. But now, with China's aggressive expansion in the South China Sea and rising tensions across the Indo-Pacific, Subic is making headlines again. So today, we dive deep into the news story behind the Philippines' secret buildup in Subic, uncovering the reasons, the risks, and the game-changing consequences for Asia's future. To understand why Subic matters, we have to go back in time. Subic Bay, located in Zambales, Luzon, is one of the deepest and most strategically located ports in the Pacific. For nearly a century, it was home to the largest U.S. naval base outside of American soil. During the Cold War, Subic housed aircraft carriers, submarines, fighter jets, and tens of thousands of U.S. servicemen. It was the beating heart of American power projection across Asia, from the Vietnam War to the Persian Gulf. But in 1992, after the Philippine Senate voted against renewing the U.S. bases treaty, the Americans packed up and left. The once mighty base became quiet, transformed into a free port zone for business and tourism. Many thought the military chapter of Subic was permanently closed, but history has a way of repeating itself. And as regional tensions rise, Subic is once again drawing the attention of military planners. Why Subic? Geography. Subic sits right at the mouth of the South China Sea, just 124 nautical miles from disputed waters, where China, the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and others are locked in territorial disputes. For the Philippines, Subic offers three crucial advantages. 1. Deep natural harbor. Subic Bay is naturally deep, allowing it to host the largest aircraft carriers and nuclear submarines without extensive dredging. 2. Shielded location. Surrounded by mountains, it's naturally protected from typhoons and enemy surveillance. 3. Proximity to hotspots. From Subic, the Philippine Navy can quickly respond to incidents in the West Philippine Sea, including Scarborough Shoal and the Spratly Islands. In military terms, Subic is a gold mine, a launch pad for maritime power. Over the past few years, something big has been happening in Subic, but it hasn't gotten much attention. The Philippine Navy has quietly taken over parts of the old American base. Massive shipyards are being converted into military docks. The old Hanjin shipbuilding facility, once the largest in Asia, has been turned into a repair and logistics hub for warships. Construction crews are upgrading runways to handle military aircraft. New fuel depots, barracks, and command centers are being installed. Officials haven't called it a base. Instead, they use terms like Naval Operating Facility or Logistics Hub. But make no mistake, Subic is being transformed into the largest naval installation in Philippine history. Over the past few years, something big has been happening in Subic, but much of it has flown under the radar. What was once a commercial freeport zone is quietly being reshaped into the beating heart of the Philippines' naval power. The Philippine Navy has taken over key portions of the former U.S. base, gradually converting them into military facilities. At the center of this transformation is the massive Hanjin Heavy Industries shipyard. Once the largest shipbuilding facility in Southeast Asia, it went bankrupt in 2019. Instead of being lost to foreign buyers, it is now being repurposed by the Philippine Navy and its allies. Its giant dry docks, big enough to handle aircraft carriers, are being converted into repair, maintenance, and logistics centers for warships. For the first time in history, the Philippines will have the capacity to maintain large vessels domestically instead of relying on foreign shipyards. Beyond ship repair, Subic is seeing a surge of new construction. Old American-era warehouses are being gutted and transformed into naval command centers. New barracks are being built for thousands of personnel, alongside fuel depots and ammunition storage facilities. Runways are being upgraded to handle heavier aircraft, including maritime patrol planes and possibly allied fighter jets. These upgrades mean Subic won't just be a naval hub, it will be an air and sea fortress, and the changes don't stop there. Intelligence reports suggest that portions of Subic's coastline are being reinforced to allow rapid deployment of missile defense systems and radar installations. These could be used to monitor activity deep into the South China Sea. Satellite imagery has shown unusual activity in some restricted parts of the base, sparking speculation that advanced communication systems and coastal defense weapons may already be in testing. China has spent the last decade building a vast network of artificial islands in the South China Sea, complete with runways, missile systems, and naval outposts. For the Philippines, this is a direct threat. Chinese vessels regularly harass Filipino fishermen, block resupply missions to outposts, and assert sweeping territorial claims under its so-called 9-dash line. Scarborough Shoal, just 124 miles from Subic, has become a flashpoint. If China ever militarizes it fully, it would put Luzon within striking range. This is why Manila sees Subic as a necessity, not a luxury. Without a strong naval base close to the disputed waters, the Philippines risks losing control of its own maritime territory. Subic is not just about rebuilding history, it's about survival in the face of Chinese expansion. The Philippines isn't doing this alone. The United States has a vested interest in Subic. Under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, U.S. forces are allowed to rotate troops and equipment through Philippine bases. Subic, with its massive docks and airstrips, is perfect for U.S. operations. Already, American warships have quietly returned for maintenance and resupply. It's not just the U.S., Japan and Australia are also eyeing Subic as a potential hub for joint exercises. Japanese companies have invested in parts of Subic's shipyards, making it easier to repair Allied vessels. This turns Subic into more than just a Philippine project. It's a regional stronghold, a place where allies can coordinate and counter China's growing influence. There's another reason why Manila is pushing this development: money. Subic isn't just a military site, it's also a booming freeport zone, home to thousands of businesses and jobs. By anchoring the Navy there, the government is giving investors confidence that Subic will remain safe and secure. Local communities are already benefiting from new infrastructure, housing projects, and job opportunities created by the military buildup. So, Subic is becoming a two-in-one asset, a shield for national defense and a magnet for economic growth. But there are risks. Expanding Subic as a military base could make it a prime target in any future conflict. China has already warned the Philippines against allowing foreign militaries to use its bases, and within the Philippines itself, some groups worry that Subic could drag the country into great power rivalries. Then there's the cost. Building a modern naval base requires billions of pesos, and the Philippines' defense budget is limited. To make Subic fully operational, Manila will likely rely heavily on U.S. and Allied support. Still, despite the risks, the Philippines seems determined, because the alternative, doing nothing, could mean losing its sovereignty at sea. If Subic reaches its full potential, the Philippines will have, for the first time in decades, a credible naval hub capable of projecting power across the South China Sea. It won't rival the US or China, but it will give Manila the ability to protect its fishermen, patrol its islands, and respond to crises quickly. For the region, Subic represents a shift. The Philippines, once considered militarily weak, is now re-emerging as a frontline state in the Indo-Pacific security order. The next decade could see Subic evolve into a permanent hub not just for Philippine defense but for multinational cooperation. So why is the Philippines secretly building the largest naval base in Subic? Because it has no choice. The South China Sea is becoming the world's most contested ocean, and without Subic, the Philippines risks being left defenseless. What was once a symbol of foreign presence is now being reborn as a symbol of national strength. Subic Bay isn't just making a comeback, it's becoming the anchor of the Philippines' future in Asia. The question now is, will this be enough to keep China at bay, or is Subic just the opening chapter of a much bigger storm? Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? Will Subic Bay be the Philippines' game changer, or is it too little, too late? See you in the next video. Next.